Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Payback review for the Sunday night, June the 1st, 2014, of course, taking place from the United Center. Not United Center, that's where the hockey game was. The All-State Arena in Chicago, Illinois. Now, I probably echo a lot of people on here that my initial thoughts about this pay-per-view when I was seeing this on paper. It looked like it was Extreme Rules Part done with a lot of rematches on the same pay-per-view all over again. But, despite that, my thoughts on this pay-per-view, that was kind of a fun one. It was entertaining. You had two really good matches, some good matches, a little bit of duds, and one little screwy contest. But overall, it was a very interesting and fun, entertaining pay-per-view to say the least. We also finally kind of got our answer involving the WWE Championship. And I think we finally can silence fans of a certain Chicago wrestler once and for all. Now, my overall pay-per-view rating, I've been debating. 6.5 out of 10. There's some fun matches. If they had maybe one or two more good matches, this pay-per-view would be a lot good. I think Extreme Rules was a tad bit better. But the matches tonight were decent. Very entertaining to say the least. At least it was that. But a lot of the rematches from Extreme Rules failed to be as good as the matches at Extreme Rules. You're probably going to hear me say that a lot, that I'm going to say the match tonight wasn't as good as Extreme Rules. And the first match to be labeled that, a match that's not as good as the match at Extreme Rules, first goes to our pregame match involving El Torito taking on Hornswoggle with the stipulation, hair versus mask. I kind of thought that was going to be teased because I saw them trying to pull El Torito's mask off last week on Raw. They beat the Job Squad. I mean, me and Hornswoggle. And, of course, this is the pre-show. And like last month's pre-show, it was like this. It was the pre-match for the second month in a row. Second month in a row, it's a pre-show match. And like I said, the match, once again, had a lot of interference from the teams, respectfully. El Torito's team, Los Matadores and B&B. Like, I just wish these two would have just fought one-on-one. These two can actually wrestle pretty well. For being little people, trying to be PC here. Midgets, demeans them, so being PC. My Vance not to be PC, but still, little people wrestling, they should just let them wrestle one-on-one. So just having all these interference part of the match. And my computer broke down a little bit. My computer crashed a little bit tonight. So I kind of missed the middle of the matchup after Hornswoggle got nailed against, I think, Hornswoggle bled a little bit after being nailed against the ring post. And then, like I said, the 3MB interference, the Los Matadores interference. But it was the interference kind of almost ruined the match. It was still kind of a fun way to get them involved. But I knew they would be. But I just wish they could just let these two guys wrestle it out one-on-one. We in the match following the Los Matadores and 3MB interference. Hornswoggle didn't get the catch in the matchup. The only way he could take off El Torito's mask is if he would have pinned El Torito. He kind of forgot that, so he pulled out El Torito's mask. And that cost him the match because he pulled on the mask. There was two masks. So El Torito, with that distraction from Hornswoggle, mistakenly forgotten the purpose of the match. 1-2-3 victory by El Torito, which means buzz cut for Hornswoggle. I knew that was going to happen. I think a lot of people knew that was going to happen. That El Torito was not going to lose his mask. That it would be Hornswoggle getting his head shaved. I'll call him a trooper for being willing to do that. He saw his boss, Vince McMahon, get his head shaved. WrestleMania 23. I was at that WrestleMania when McMahon got shaved by Lashley and Donald Trump during that Battle of the Billionaires. 2.0. Like I said, this wasn't as good as the match Extreme Rules. The Extreme Rules match was better. Like I said, you're going to hear me say that about a couple matches tonight. That were rematches from that pay-per-view. But still, it's an okay matchup to open up the pay-per-view. And Chicago crowd tonight. Chicago crowd was kind of rowdy, chant heavy. And I thought, not as much as usual, but speaking of Chicago crowd and the chants, let's get the elephant out of the room. Of course, we're in Chicago, which means one thing. We all knew there would be a lot of chants for a certain wrestler from Chicago that starts with a C, ends with a K, and the middle is a M-Punk. A wrestler that is known as CM Punk. Now, Paul Heyman kind of nailed. This is like probably the first time that anyone mentioned CM Punk by name tonight. That Paul Heyman said when he came out to open up the match. Of course, the first match was SHEAMUS against Cesaro for the United States Championship. He said he's at the United Center watching the Blackhawks take on the Kings, and I love Heyman's segue about saying the streak will end like the streak of Anchorage. Shut up about that already. Speaking of shut up already, Chicago, not the Chicago fans, but all of their universe. Get the fuck over it. Punk's never going to come back. Especially if it is true from what he said in an interview that he's retired. But, even though he says he retired, will he stay retired? Or do the same thing that another Chicago athlete did? Of course, referring to Michael Jordan. Come out of retirement. If Michael Jordan can say retired and then come out of retirement, CM Punk will come out of retirement. Guarantee it. You know what I mean? If, like I said, Michael Jordan can come back 2 times. I'm just saying he retired twice. That's what I think could happen with Punk. You know. So there you go. Get the elephant out of the room. Punk quit. He retired. Let's move on. I would love him to come back one day, but I've held out. You know, I've given up all hope on it. I didn't believe in Punk anymore. If he comes back one day, fine. But I don't think he'll come back. You know, but like I said, if Jordan can retire and then come back, Punk can do the same. They're both. Well, even though Michael Jordan wasn't born in Chicago, he's a Chicago Bull. You know, Torito dressed him like a Bull too. Chicago one. Anyway, like I said, Heyman came out. First matchup, SHEAMUS against Cesaro for the United States Championship. Good way to open up the main card. I thought it was a very hard-hitting, very physical matchup. And Cesaro looked very good in this matchup. If you've been watching my reviews lately of Raw and, of course, the pay-per-view reviews, you've been hearing me applaud Cesaro. I've always applauded him as a great athlete. He's getting a big push. And I believe he'll get a bigger push than winning the United States Championship, as we shall see. And it was like it's a very physical, hard hitting because SHEAMUS, he did like the thing against the ropes, the 10 beats thing, the 10 beats of the way they fucking say that, the 10 beats of the Bonodome or something. He did it like 20 times, like on one side, on the other side. And it was uppercut city for Cesaro. He nailed the uppercut anywhere he can. In midair, outside the ring. There was literally uppercuts everywhere. And he was trying to go for his other big moves, of course, referring to the neutralizer. And of course, there's a solo swing. And he did eventually get the swing. Now, the ending was kind of fast. It was kind of a quick ending. As Cesaro was dominating in the matchup, with Heyman giving him leverage, especially when getting out of the global leaf. SHEAMUS was going for the pro kick a few times. And he did kind of came with white noise. I was surprised he didn't win the pro kick. Instead, the end of the match, Cesaro, like I said, went for the swing. But after the swing, he was going for the neutralizer. SHEAMUS countered with a small package. 1, 2, 3. It ended. Like I said, the ending was quick. It was kind of a quick finish. With Cesaro getting small packaged up after the swing by him. And then, of course, getting a small package after that. So, now, I thought SHEAMUS was going to lose tonight against Cesaro. But I believe the reason why we didn't see Cesaro win the United States Championship is because I think WWE's not looking to put Cesaro as U.S. champion. I think they're going to making him go for bigger and better gold. I'm hearing he's one of the front runners for the Money in the Bank ladder match. And I hope he wins that. And let's hope he ends up successfully cashing it in like Mr. Ziggler did, who got chanted since there was no Punk. They chanted Ziggler's name throughout the evening. And I hope that Cesaro, should I say, if he does end up being Money in the Bank, he doesn't end up like Damien Sandow. more on Sandow in a minute. I got a little reference to him when we get to a match later on. 2.5. It's a fun, entertaining matchup. I took a few points off for the ending, being a little bit too quick. You know, the ending was just like it was too sudden of an ending. You know, that's why I got a few points. So, but it was a very fun matchup. These two guys had good chemistry. They've been feuding for the last couple of weeks, and it was a fun matchup between these two guys. And let's hope this feud continues on, but even though I would like to see this feud continue on, I know that Cesaro is aiming for bigger and better things, especially, like I said, if he is what the sources are saying he is, the front runner to win Money in the Bank. Now on to the next matchup. A couple last-minute matches being added. Cody Rhodes and his brother Goldust taking on Rybaxel. Of course, Curtis Axel and Ryback. Now this match, of course, we would finally see the catalyst. We've been seeing the build-up. The seeds have been planted for months about the Rhodes brothers breaking up. I thought like they're going to turn on each other. Like Cody's going to turn on Goldust. But the way they broke up tonight, it's kind of like the safe way to doing it. Instead of making Cody turn heel. You know, but despite the breakup happening in the match itself, kind of a fun matchup. I think Rybaxel has gotten the groove on. You know, I think Rybaxel is finding the groove. I think they're a very good tag team. And they've been starting this feud up. They've been feuding slowly but surely for a while. And I think both these teams have good chemistry with each other. And like I said, Ryback's finally found their stride. I've been very critical about Ryback, about his wrestling ability, or lack thereof. But I think Ryback and Curtis Axel, I think they've found a groove. I think they finally gelled. They got the great tags in and out, really isolating Cody Rhodes in the corner. And of course, doing the same thing. Goldust, really isolating Goldust in the corner. Then Goldust came flying back, of course, trying to fight with his big final cut move. I like that little reverse powerbomb type move. And it was a fun, interesting back and forth little matchup. Good action until, of course, Cody Rhodes got in there. And I think he took a big hit. He did like a moonsault off the top on both Ryback and Axel later on. And I think he bumped his head against one of the guys. So I think he had a hit because he saw him just going for his head after that move. I think he like hit his head. And then, of course, he hit his head again, but he got tossed inadvertently in the Goldust. But one move kind of cost Cody the matchup. Trying to go for the beautiful disaster kick on Ryback. That cost him the match. He tried it twice. First time around, got caught with a meat hook. Second time around, like I said, the old saying goes, at first you don't succeed, try again. But in Cody's case, at first you don't succeed, you try again, and you fail again. Second attempt at the beautiful disaster kick was the end of the match. Got caught in midair with the shell shock. And the 1-2-3 victory for Ryback. So Cody Rhodes gets pinned again. Despite trying to show resilience, ensuring the Rhodes brothers were together again. But like I said, this is the match that we finally saw him break up. I thought Cody was going to shove Goldust, beat him up and turn heel. But then he took the mic and he said to Goldust, find yourself another partner. I'm too much of a burden for you. I keep losing. But I think, like, that's an interesting way of doing it. Instead of, like, having him turn heel. Like they're going to make him slowly turn heel. And the way they did it, like, making him literally walk out on his brother. It's kind of like turning heel, but instead of attacking him physically, he attacked him mentally by walking out on him. You know, breaking his heart. You know, despite Goldust trying to reassure him, Cody just felt like a liability. Because he's the one getting pinned here. So there you go. The Rhodes brothers may finally been broken up finally after the months and months of build-up. 2.5 for this match as well. Fun little match between both these teams. I think Rybaxel could, if they really gel together more and really show, they got a lot of potential. They've been trying to show a feud against Usos. I think they've been touted as the next number one contenders for Usos. So I would love to see a feud between those two and maybe see Rybaxel maybe get a tag team title shot and try to revitalize the tag team division. Now on to our next matchup. Rusev, of course, with the ravishing Russian ladder taking on Big E. Now, Big E went from being Intercontinental Champion, defeating Rusev, and getting squashed. Well, not exactly, but still. Like, Big E looked dominant early on in the match. The match was okay for being a Rusev match. One cool spot, though, was when Rusev was on the middle rope. And Big E spilled his ass off the rope and into the barricade. That was kind of a fun little spear move by Big E. That was kind of a fun move. But after that, despite that little move by Big E and trying to get momentum on his side, he goes, Rusev, crash, bang. Rusev took over from there, leading towards the accolade and the tap out for Big E. Like, kind of a demotion for, like, Big E. And, well, Ryback went from being the number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, or should I say WWE Championship, even in the last man standing match against Cena last year at Payback. This year, Payback, it was against Cody and Goldust. Not much of a downgrade as it is for Big E to go from being IC champion to getting squashed against Rusev. 2.0, you know, this match is kind of it's kind of mushed together, you know, kind of like not much hype. We saw like Big E get involved, but it was like it was okay. Like I said, the best part was that Big E spear to Rusev. That was probably one of my favorite spots in the matchup. Then we had our next, well, not exactly a match, more like a segment. Kofi Kingston was one of the guys on the pre-show tonight. And I'm saying this now. I haven't noticed. I haven't addressed this yet. If you haven't or have noticed, my voice is kind of raspy today. I'm recovering from a DJ gig last night. That's why my voice is kind of going out. Not as loud as usual, but still, do my best. Like I said, Kofi was on the panel tonight for the pre-show on the WWE Network, and he got a little news that he was going to be in a last-minute match against Bo Dallas. He is Wyatt's brother, and I would love to see Bo in the Wyatt family. Not just because of the fact that he's Bray's brother, but it's kind of like a, you know, I'm trying to think of the word. Kind of a motivational speaker, kind of in the way of Bray Wyatt's family. And he sounds like Bray. He's got that same voice. But then right before the match started, like I said, not really a match. It was a segment because fire exploded. Here comes the Big Red Machine Kane, beating the crap out of Kofi Kingston. The match was no contest. I don't even want to make this match because it wasn't really a match. It's just NA. Not applicable because, like I said, it wasn't really a match because Kane came out. So it was kind of a pointless segment there. But it kind of made sense because storyline-wise, Kofi was on the Twitter flapping about the Authority about what they're doing with the whole Daniel Bryan Brie Bella situation. When of course, if D-Bryan didn't win the title tonight, Brie would be fired. And if you talk smack against the Authority, they sick Kane on you. So that can make sense on a storyline-wise, but as part of the matchup being no contest, that was kind of silly. But it kind of helped Bo's character. Not exactly, but still. Now, on to our next matchup for the Intercontinental Championship. BNB, Bad News Barrett, taking on RVD, Wyatt Van Dam. Now, this match, another fun matchup. There's like the two really good matches, and two matches that were decently good. Those two matches being the Intercontinental Championship match and the US title match. And this IC title match, RVD. You know, RVD is kind of a utility. You know, he's guys to get people. He's a guy they use to get newer guys over him. You know, and RVD's kind of feels obliged to do so. You know, push the younger talent instead of burying them like certain people. Cena. Anyway, I'll get to him in a moment. So we had, like I said, this match. RVD looked very good in this matchup doing the big move. He had a Bad News Barrett set up against the barricade doing the big leg drop from the middle rope. That was kind of a cool spot to see that. It was kind of back and forth action. These guys have decent chemistry together. And RVD did all his flying moves. He tried Rolling Thunder twice and nailed it the second time. And he tried 5-star at least once or twice and got derailed by Bad News Barrett. And of course, despite all of these high-flying maneuvers, the bare knuckles style of Wade Barrett was getting him over, nailing the winds of change, and of course Wade to set up for the Pearl Hammer elbow. But RVD countered that, and looking like the match was going to go RVD's way fully, as he rammed Wade Barrett in the outside. He took it to the outside and whammed Wade Barrett fist first, forearm first against the wing post, kind of temporarily rendering Wade Barrett's arm from maneuvering the Pearl Hammer elbow. But, as we've seen many times before, despite being down and rendering his arm, that Pearl Hammer elbow, no matter how well Pearl Hammer's arm is, the Pearl Hammer arm is for Barrett, he can nail it anywhere he wants. Following, blocking an RVD springboard, Wade Barrett, bang, nailed the elbow despite his arm being weakened from that post-rendering 1-2-3 victory for BNB retaining the Intercontinental Championship bout. Now, and speaking of guys I've been applauding lately, I've been kind of applauding Barrett. I love RVD. You know, I'm from Michigan, not Battle Creek, but still I live in the same state as RVD. So I love Joe, my Michigan boy, but I've been kind of applauding BNB for a while. So I kind of made fun of him for a while because I was like, come on, Wade, fucking wrestle. You know, because he was talking for months. He didn't wrestle. He just got on his podium. But I think they got him the right amount of heat as possible. So when he did get back to the ring after months of promos, he would finally look good in the ring. And look what's happened ever since he got back to wrestling right after WrestleMania. He would, of course, be IC champion like he is now. Another 2.5. So there you go. Another fun matchup between these two guys. Now on to our next segment. I think we kind of got the title situation with D-Bryan. Of course, the situation involving him surrendering the WWE World Heavyweight Championship or his wife getting fired. So we have, of course, them coming out. D-Bryan being brought up by Stephanie. Talking about, you know, D-Bryan do the right thing. And another Punk chant. And that's when Stephanie mentioned about don't quit like CM Punk did. That was like the first time that anyone said CM Punk by name besides Heyman. So I think they already know that he's not coming back. The fans should know too. He's not coming back. Get over it. He's retired. Unless, like I said earlier, he pulls a Michael Jordan. Like I said, they're both Chicago athletes. Anyway. So it looked like D-Bryan may have to do the right thing. And it looked like he was going to surrender. But then he's like, I'm not surrendering. It looked like Brie was going to get fired. But Brie pulled the old, you can't fire me, I quit scenario. And then she slapped the hell out of Stephanie. That was a hell of a bitch slap, man. And she not only wasn't a bitch slap, she called her a bitch too. You know? And like I said, that bitch slap was like heavy, and Stephanie went around. So D-Bryan's still the champion. He didn't forfeit it tonight. Like, yes, it is true. He does have a 30-day defense clause. You got to defend your title in 30 days or you get stripped. So it's not really enforced. So we'll see what happens because D-Bryan is not officially cleared yet. I have been hearing rumors about him coming back at Money in the Bank to take on Kane in a Buried Alive match. Be weird to see that match happen. So we'll see how this ends up with D-Bryan still, as of now, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. We will see what they do with Bryan, storyline-wise and on TV-wise, until he is medically cleared. So, there you go. See how long this drags out. Now on to, I hate to say this, probably the second best match of the night. John Cena against Bray Wyatt in the Last Man Standing match. Now, I was hoping this wasn't going to happen, that Cena would bring out the Usos and Bray would bring out Hope and Warren. That's exactly what happened. And I was hoping that was going to be a clean finish. No, kind of was a clean finish because we didn't see Usos and the Wyatts get involved in the ending. But we did see him get involved in the matchup quite a bit. But interference kind of added on to it, though. You know, because it didn't really spoil the match. Because the match itself was actually pretty good. For being a Cena match, it was actually pretty good. I think it was probably the best match of their feud. Was this one. The Steel Cage match was kind of boring. But this match, being a last man standing match, you can expect it to be physical. And boy, oh boy, was it physical. There were some really good spots in this. One of my favorite spots was when Cena threw the steel steps. Like, he threw like a fucking dart at Bray Wyatt's face. And he got cut up, boy. He got fucking cut up big time after that. And I love the use of weapons. There's a lot of weapons used. You know, there was a lot of chairs and a lot of tables. And this is a spot fest. You know, some good spots. Bray Wyatt suplexing Cena through the table was fun. Another good spot. We saw Usos and Harper and Warren get involved in at least twice in matchup. Like, we had like them brawl a little bit, then taken out. Like, the Flying Usos took them out for the match for a while. But then Harper and Warren came back, helping out. Then that brought the Usos back. And then one of the Usos got suplexed off the top rope by Harper through 2 tables. That was kind of a sick spot. And them out of the way. Cena Bray Wyatt fought one-on-one again. You know, a lot of weapons. I think they should have used maybe a little bit more weapons. But still, there's a good weapon usage with the chairs and the tables. And even, I think one of them got whammed into a table. Like, one of them threw up a table. And then I knew they were going to blow on the crowd, which they did. And that's how the match ended. I think Bray Wyatt did do the Sister Abigail at one point to Cena on the floor. So there was some cool, there was some fun spots. It was actually not a bad match at all for being a Cena match. It wasn't, like I said, that bad of a match until the ending. Like I said, the ending, it was probably the most logical ending. We saw Cena even use the chair. He was reluctant to use the chair at Mania, but then he used the chair big time against Bray Wyatt that sent them to the crowd. And I kind of saw this ending when Cena did it. Cena FU'd, I've never called it attitude adjustment. He FU'd Bray Wyatt through a carrying case, broke it, and then when he was next to a case in front of it, I was like, I know what he's going to do. He's going to put the case on Bray Wyatt, and it's going to be over. And Bray Wyatt was stuffed and stuck in that case with another case on top of the case he went through, unable to escape. Cena gets the victory against Bray Wyatt. Now I wanted Bray Wyatt to win. And it was kind of a fun match, though. You know? And I love JBL after the matchup. I bitch about the commentating. But JBL may have been not just storyline-wise, but very literal when he said that John Cena buried Bray Wyatt. I've been calling John Cena the man who is faster than Rey Mysterio, more powerful than a Big Show. Able to bury Damien Sandow's career and make him a fucking joke. Super Cena! And Bray Wyatt's been on a good push lately. You know, Bray Wyatt's been looking well. He's been getting a lot of heat from the Cena lovers and, of course, getting a lot of cheers from the Cena haters. I just hope to God that now that Bray Wyatt and Cena's feud is over, I just hope Cena didn't bury Bray Wyatt, not just storyline-wise, but I hope he didn't bury Bray literally. Because we saw what happened to Damien Sandow's career after he lost to Cena. We went from Sandow being touted as the next big star to becoming Davy Crockett. To becoming a fucking joke. I just hope Bray Wyatt doesn't become a joke after losing to Cena. 3.2. You know, I'll give Cena credit. He had a good performance in this match. I'll give Cena credit. He had some good spots in this matchup. For being a Cena match, it wasn't that bad. And like I said, it was probably their best match. And it was no stupid... Like I said, Cena won clean. There was a clean ending. No interference from anybody. Like at, WrestleMania and also at Extreme Rules with Little Johnny. We haven't seen him since. So there goes. Interesting match for being a Cena match. Now, I've been saying all night that there will be some matches I say that are better than the match at Extreme Rules, especially the rematches from Extreme Rules. But there's a match I can say that's better than the match at Extreme Rules. Way better than the match at Extreme Rules. And like I said, the best match of the entire feud, in my opinion. But I think it's over. I think the feud is over. I just hope that Bray Wyatt's push isn't over. I just hope like I said, he loses to Cena. I don't want it to be like when Damien Sandow lost to Cena. He became a fucking joke after he lost to Cena, as we've been seeing. So there you go. I hope that doesn't happen to Bray as well. He has so much potential to be a big killer here. I hope this doesn't kill his momentum like it did to Sandow. when he lost to Cena. Let's get on with the Divas title match. We have Alicia Fox. The old saying goes, like there's a saying, right? Crazy like a fox? She is crazy like a fox. She took on Paige for the Divas Championship. And for me, the Divas match was okay. You know, typical little Divas match. But Alicia Fox was crazy. You know, she brawled outside the ring. She even almost tried to take a sip out of someone's pop again like she did a few weeks ago when she beat Paige in a non-title match that kind of set up this match for this title. And despite Alicia Fox looking dominant for at least the first half of the matchup, you know, Alicia Fox looking really dominant, but of course, Paige would come flying back with her big flying moves, big clotheslines, going for the Paige turner, but never got it. Instead, she would indeed get the victory with her little submission move, the Scorpion Cross Lock, and the 1-2-3 tapping out for Paige retaining the Divas Championship. Kind of a fun match, and of course, Alicia Fox, after losing, she didn't go nuts though. Even though everyone kept chanting, "You tapped out," I thought that would encourage her to go crazy. She just kept saying, "Silence!" She kept stomping her feet and ran off without smashing anything. She just, you know, went off. 2.0. It was an okay Divas match for what it was, you know. Let's move on to probably the best match of the night. The Shield against Evolution in the 6-man elimination match. No holds barred. We had, of course, the Shield being Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns taking on Batista. I can't believe Batista trended. I noticed that when Batista came out. Now, as we all know, Batista is supposed to leave after this to promote his new movie. And his characters are blue characters, so it makes sense to have the blue everything. And it became a trend. I can't believe Batista was fucking trending tonight. Anyway, I will say this. Of course, Blue Batista with Randy Orton and Triple H taking on Shield. Now, this match, I'll say this. It wasn't as good as an Extreme Rules match. Even without the stipulation, I think Extreme Rules was a little better. But this match was still fun, nonetheless. It was still a fun brawl. And it was a brawl from the get-go. These 6 guys were just brawling to begin with until they got some sort of control and made it into a little bit of a tag match for a little bit. Until, of course, the brawl happened again. And it was just chaos. Like, the Shield was looking good, but of course, the Evolution was just pounding on the Shield. And there were some great spots in this match as well, as there was at the Extreme Rules match. We saw the triple power bomb attempted on Roman Reigns again through the Spanish announce table. There was a lot of brawling in the crowd, like there was in Extreme Rules as well. One cool vicious spot though was Seth Rollins was going for like a big move off a traveling case, and as he was going for a big splash on the Triple H rammed like a television monitor in his face. That was like hard hitting. That had a fucking hurt, that TV monitor. Like, here's the monitor, and here's Rollins. Rollins mid-air bang, smashed with the TV. That was kind of a vicious spot there. I was like, wow. And now Rollins just like knocked the fuck out. And it was just a brawl over. It was a fucking brawl. It wasn't a wrestling match. It was a fucking brawl. I think we all knew that from the get-go. If Extreme Rules match was any indication, we all knew it was going to be a brawl. And boy, oh boy, there was. Like I said, there were some good spots. And once again, like in the Extreme Rules match, Seth Rollins again was stuntman as he jumped on top of the Titantron and did a big suicide splash like he did at Extreme Rules. Not in the crowd though, but still off the top of the Titantron. There was a cool little spot. Once again. And it was just a fight. You know, both guys were just jockeying back and forth. And I think everybody knew why this was a 6-man elimination match. To wide off Batista and get him out to make his movie. And I think we all knew Batista was going to be the first eliminated. That was the case. With a big Superman punch and then a spear from Roman Reigns, he helped Rollins get the pin and the first elimination for Batista being eliminated. And I heard faintly, goodbye. One of many songs sung. I didn't say this. During the Paige Alicia Fox match, I heard faintly during the Divas match, the crowd humming to Adam Rose's theme song. I thought he was going to face Jack Swagger tonight, but I heard that was on SmackDown. Anyway, back to the main event. After Batista got eliminated, Orton got eliminated quickly as he got taken out by Dean Ambrose's main move. Now it's called the Dirty Deeds. Onto the chair, and it was down to a 3-on-1. Shield against Triple H. And this fight, Orton and Batista getting eliminated. This being a no disqualification, no holds barred, they still could get involved. As Batista would eventually spear Reigns, and both guys got bloodied up. A lot of blood in that match. Especially with a lot of steel chairs and candlesticks. When the Shield was really being dominated by the Team of Evolution, they put Reigns against the steel steps and really whipped his ass against the steps with a Singapore cane. Thank you, sir. May I have another Animal House reference? And you saw the welts on Reigns' back after he got railed 1,000 times with not one but 2 candlesticks. And there was a lot of weapons being used, like steps and candlesticks and the special announce table. And of course, and I knew this was going to happen. We saw this certain weapon used on Monday, and I was watching with my friend and my father, and I'm I would not be surprised if we see Triple H pull out the sledgehammer, and he did at one point. Midway towards, as he was being isolated, the 3-on-1. He was the last one standing for Evolution, and he did try to use that sledgehammer on everybody. But then, he did hit Ambrose with it. And after nailing Ambrose's move, he was trying to take out Reigns. And then Rollins came out off the top rope with a big flying knee, setting up the Roman Reigns spear in the 1-2-3 victory for the Shield. A clean sweep. Quick eliminations of all the Evolution members. And it kind of looked like symbolism. I've been reading rumors about them possibly making Triple H have a solo feud against Roman Reigns when the Shield finally break up, and they go on to be single stars. And I've been kind of critical of the Shield when they first came in, but gradually they became big. And I think Ambrose would do well as a solo star, but I think the 2 guys who are gonna really break out once the Shield breaks up, once they become solo stars, Reigns and Rollins. Reigns was my favorite member for a while. But then Rollins is the true athlete. He's the stunt guy. He's a crazy guy. And Ambrose is just there. We thought Ambrose was going to be the breakout star, but he's just hanging around. But it was still a fun matchup with Evolution being dominated by the Shield. I think it was the passing of the torch. It was kind of a slow match, especially with the beatdown from Evolution on the Shield. It kind of lowered the match a little bit. That's why I thought the Extreme Rules match was kind of better, because it was kind of slower pace than the match Extreme Rules, but still a fun matchup. 3.5 for that match. Like I said, the second best, probably the best match of the night. If you were to call anything best, being the Shield match, and of course, never thought I'd say this, a Cena match. But like I said, still very entertaining pay-per-views. And I thought they were gonna make Roman Reigns he did at Survivor Series. I thought they were gonna eliminate Reigns' partner. Well, I thought it would be 3-on-1 the other way around. I thought it would be Reigns against Triple H, Orton, and Batista. Instead, it was 3-on-1 the other way, with the Shield against Triple H, being the last one standing for Evolution. So I thought it would be the opposite, 3-on-1. But still, Shield got the victory, and it was an entertaining way to end the pay-per-view. Very physical, brawling. We all knew it was going to be. But still not as good as Extreme Rules, but still fun and exciting and a war nonetheless. Now I think the Shield have finally won the war, especially with Batista going out to make his movie. Blue Tista indeed. Can't believe that turned in. That is it for my Extreme Rules review. Thank you all very much for watching. Once again, 6.5 out of 10. With that in mind, you all been attacked by the review from Zach. Have a great week, everybody. And beginning June, see ya. Yes. Yes. Yes.